Alright, it's been a minute, but I'm back and I've got a bit of a project, seeing as I don't have a tinny at the moment. A big boat's just too hard to do night missions, and actually you got to look after it, which a tinny I can just hose off, flush the motor out, we're good to go. But I've come across this, take a look at it. That's she's gonna get a full makeover, I reckon. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So forward steer, little canopy, windscreen, seats. She's pretty flash. Very simple setup currently. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, but just do a lot of work to it. So it shouldn't take too much work, but I'm gonna get to it this afternoon and see what we can do with it. So I'll take you along the journey, getting a little whiting boat to a bass and jack boat. I reckon that's the plan. Right, first up, we gotta get rid of these. These have got to go, but they won't be going too far. I'll be getting back on shortly. Alright, so we're going from like a full whiting looking rig to now a speedboat. She's a full speedboat setup now. But next, gonna be cutting these off, putting electric on. So cut the bow rails off, leave that nice and flat for the electric bracket. She should look schmick. Alright, so that's the bow rails cut off, just with a 1mm cutting disc. So just going to go over it now with a flapper disc to tidy all that up. Get that nice and flush. We should be good to go. Bow rails nice and smooth. All ground back with the flapper. The shape put back into it. Looks much better already. Alright, now that's done, I'm going to try to take the windscreen off. I think it's just a screw there, and then this seal down here. So I'm going to hit that with the Stanley knife. Undo that screw and hit that with the Stanley knife, and hopefully it comes off. Fingers crossed. Alright, it's looking pretty cool. If you got an imagination, it'll suit you, but this is how it's looking. So that's just a temporary mock-up. I reckon it looks quite nice. And the whole front, so the plan is to cut this out from the top, cut that out, and that should all be able to get put back in here, welded in, and then have a full complete cast deck, and then have 2 seats at the back, still put the bimini on, and then I could get out of the weather and still have a big cast deck. Like that cast deck, I'll get a tape measure on it, but it should be from bow to window about 1.8, I'm guessing. Right, the moment of truth, hard one-handed. Put that on there. Oh, that's basically on the bow. Where we at? Basically 1800. What a guess. Off this cast deck. Alright, so the Speed Racer has got a new home. So next part is I gotta try cut this dash out. I'm going to try use a multi-tool. Just so I can cut the weld flat like that. Hopefully it works. And go from there. So going a bit crazy with the grinder, trying to work out how to cut this out simply. So taking the top capping off, and then there's a few welds under there that I think if I cut all them out, this should drop out, and then I'll just basically have a cutout of the dash that can go back here, and then a few more supports in to stand on, and yeah, sheet on top. Just got to remove the rest of the dash now, get all that out of the way, and go ham. All right, it's not coming out as easy as I thought. Slowly making progress. Had to cut little triangles in there and across. We got it pretty loose now. Oh, it's been a process, but hopefully it will all work. All right, it's taken longer than expected, but all the welds have been cut. So I'm hoping we can hit this with the hammer here, and this whole front piece comes out. Not quite yet. Ooh, we're making progress. This side's nearly out. Couple more yanks. Oh, she's tight. Woo! It come out. How's that? She flash. I'm thinking I'll rip out all this, replace it all. This is all brand new stuff. Bit thicker, a bit heavier duty. She's starting to take shape for like a day's work. It's gonna be sick. All right, getting back to it. Ran out of grinding discs. Got a few more. Time to cut all the bracing out. Gonna replace it all. So time to get stuck into it. This is how it's looking so far. This side's cut out. So just gotta take that top bit off, cut that side, and we'll be going places. Ooh, getting somewhere now. I think this is the hardest part of the whole thing, is this part. That goes all the old electrical. We are getting places with this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now just to break this one off. Back and forward, and we're good. Come on, you good thing. Alright, all that's cut out now. But the issue I found is that it's obviously wider at the back than where it was there. So I'm in two minds. Either just bend one up, all it is literally a couple folds, remake it, or extend it. But just gonna tidy all this up now. All the old welds, just gonna hit that with the flapper disc. Ready for the new braces to get bent up and put in. All right, we are back. Motor's gone. It's all cut out, ready to go. Got to lift the floor up now. Have a look at that. And I ended up cheating on the electric bracket. Jared's Tinny mods online. You can get these online, ready to go. So all you have to do is mark underneath with pen, cut that, and then weld that in like that, and it even sits. You can choose what capping you got on the side of your boat. So that's a nice little cheat away. And then I even cheated again and got a new dash folded up. The old one just yeah, I thought I'd get a new one, then I can mount everything where I want it. So that's gonna get put in, and I got the top hat braces for the support for the cast deck. This is how it's gonna look. So cut that in down below so it sits nice and flush where you want it to, and then got some more top hats, bend them up, create a bit of a arc just to get the water off, give it a bit more height underneath, and she should be good to go. Got a heap of sheet there Just got to work out where I want the seats. That's probably the hardest part now. Alrighty, the floor is up. Got a good size underfloor tank in it, but that full of rats. Not what you want. But yeah. So what I'll do is I'll probably cut these supports out here to where the feet are on the console, and then I can have more height under the front. So it's going to be a little bit more cutting out to do, but should be good once it's done. New dash should look pretty flash, I reckon. Nothing is ever easy, so I want the seats to be here. So I've got to try undo this fuel tank and then put it into there is my plan. So it's just under these, drill out the old rivet, disconnect the fuel line breathers and the filler and breather, and hopefully that fits into there. Alright, the tank is out and it's so close to fitting in. So I'm just gonna, I think they've bent this forward and they've put it in here, so I'm just gonna try bend that back a little and hopefully she fits in. They've definitely bent that back this way to get the tank in, so hopefully if I hit that there, the tank should squeeze back in because the ribs should be the same distance. Alright, just a small tap like that. Small tap like that. This fits in like that. Fucking hell, good. Alright, it doesn't end. So what I'm going to do now is take it this little brace here. I think that will be my last one. And then finish the floor here, and then it steps down. Just going to cut a few welds. Not a lot. Then I'll put some bracing in at the same height as that to run that through. And she should be nearly ready to start welding after that. Alright, next thing I gotta do, this is the old bracing for the original little car stick at the front of the bow. So I want to try to keep that arch instead of going straight to give me a bit more height under the sort of car stick. So this is the flat bit here, so I got to try and bend it like that. Now I don't really know how it's going to go, but I will gain like 100, probably 150 mil more room under the car stick if I can do it. So I think what I'm going to do is put it like that, and then just step on it and hit it with a hammer. Like so, until I get that roundness I can match with that. Right, here we go. So I've done a little bit of it. So basically, put that like that. Oh, we're close. We're close. Ooh, a little bit more, I think we're good. There we have it. There's 2 to go. Alright, it's actually easier than I thought. That's 2 done. To match that, just got 3 more to go. Alright, it's all happening. There's 4 braces done there, and I've just cut out the 2 floor braces, so it's going to hit that with a flapper disc now and clean up those welds just before it rains. How good. Alright, that's all welded. it's ground up. Back to the nice. Start fresh with them. So these braces here will be put in here. And that floor will continue through to the tank, basically. Alright, now it's time to cut the rest of the gunnel off. I think I'm going to finish it up with this brace here. Have the dash there. And then I don't have to get cut out the side pockets. And then we can put the braces in. All happening. Alright. That one's all cut. This one's all gone. Looking good. Alright, there we go. All cut out. I'm going to put the first brace in. It's getting late, so I don't really want to annoy the neighbours, so got the first brace in, and then that will be it for the day. Right, here goes the first brace. Sits in there, over there. Then kidding me? Look at that. Let's see this one. This one can just go in wherever. Right. Look at that, lad. Ready? You ready? Boom. Look how good she looks. That's 4 braces in. Just got to bend 2 more up. I'm going to put 1 more here on the brace, as this part is probably where you're going to stand the most, and then I might be able to put a gusset in to support the weight if I have to, and just 1 more up the front here and here, and that should be it. How bloody good is that? Pretty stoked. Woo. Look at her. She's starting to take shape. Got 6 braces in. This one falls on that support, so I can put a gusset in and strengthen that up. It's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Just got to measure the dash up now, mark that up, and cut that in, and she'll be ready to get some welding done. Right, so the next step is the dash. What I'm going to do is mark center, because I want to cut the gunnel out of the dash. So the gunnel will come into the dash, and then the dash will come back in under to the side of the hull. So mark center of the dash, and then you can measure basically the gunnel. Let me get the tag. So you measure basically, say that's center, you go gunnel 845, and then the height of this, measure that down, and then the side of the gunnel being, I think it was 890. And then transfer that to the dash itself. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm wanting the corner, this fold here, to be the top of this here. So to get the height of the gunnel being, I think it's 90, I'm going to set up that like that, so that's where the dash is going to sit. Put that level, and then I can measure 90 down, mark that there, and that's where I got to cut my gunnel out. And there you go. So this is the gunnel height here. All that area there will be in the gunnel, and this will be below the gunnel going to the side of the hull on both sides. So cut that out, and she should slide right in. Alright, that's it cut out. Moment of truth. And the dash fits like a glove. So then to get this shape on the vertical bit, all you do is just trace the back of it with a pen, cut that out. Now that lip should sit under that is the plan. And that should support it all. But it's looking pretty good. As you can see, the dash hugs that gunnel and goes right to the side of the hull. That's what we're chasing. How good. Oh, now the fun part. I ended up stealing this from the sheet metal place. And this is going to be basically my template. So, trace the outline with pen and then cut that out and then trace that onto that is the plan. Right. And that's it. So what I'll do is just match that up and then cut that out with scissors and transfer that onto the alloy. Alright, so what I did was just cut roughly about 10 to 15 mil inside of the pen line, just to give me a bit more. There's a bit of play in it, but you got your pen line on the outside. Let's see how she fits. That goes in under, goes in under, in under, in under. Oh, this side's in. Come around. It should all clip in under. Like so, hitting like that. Once you're happy with that, simply put that onto your sheet, mark your corners up, get that square, and then trace that with a pen. Like so. So that's a cast deck template traced out. So now let's get the grinder, cut along there, and hopefully it fits. That's how we're looking. One side done, new disc. Let's get this side done before she rains. That's it, all cut out. Just gonna hit it with a flapper disc now, clean up all the edges so it's not sharp, and then see if she fits. Right, this is the moment of truth. I'm not going to be able to do it one-handed, I don't think. Will it work? Here it goes. Working. Get that side in. That side's in. This side's nearly in, and we'll be good. And there you have it. How good's that? Fits like a glove. Look how good this thing's shaping up to be. This thing, like that. How bloody good. Alright, it's raining, so I can't do too much today. I was hoping to get this template up, but this is too much hassle when the rain with cardboard. So I'm gonna just cut this, cut the dash in, and put the motor on. And then I can send it to someone to get the controls done and hopefully get all these welded in, and she'll be good to go. All right, once you're happy with how it's sitting, get your permanent marker. That. So that's both sides done. So when I cut it, I'm just going to cut maybe like 5mm below, because you do have this much to play with. So I'm going to cut 5mm below that line, so it should fit in just nice. That's it all cut. So now just clean it up with the flapper and she'll be ready to go. And there we go. She's all cut in, ready to weld. Starting to take shape now. All right, we're back. Another afternoon. I'm going to cut out these. I'm going to cut out the side pockets, only because it's going to be so much easier now when nothing's in, rather than welding everything in and then cutting them out later. So cutting them out now, and then try and make a plan. I think I might put like a rod rack either side for rods beside the seats, I'm thinking. So I'll cut them out and see what happens. That's that all cut, so hopefully just bend it back and forwards. Starting to crack. There we go. Just like that. Next, these are gonna go grinder like that, and then across the front. All right, that should be the last of the grinding. Very nice. This comes up so smooth. Bring it back to normal. Everything's all cut back. Fresh as, all the bases. She's just in blank canvas at the moment. Everything's just, you try to get it as smooth as possible. She's looking good. Now, the plan is to go pick up a welder and weld it myself. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Tried to get people to weld it, but everyone's too busy, obviously, for the lead up to Christmas. So here I am, gonna give it a go myself. Put this in. I'm gonna put the first support in where the brace is, just to line that up, and then measure forward and back for the other braces. Got this in here just to hold it tight while I weld it, and just gonna line that up with that, and that's how I'm gonna get that square, and then see what happens. Live and learn, I reckon. Gonna be real with you. The first weld is definitely nothing special. I turned the gas up a bit. I don't really know, I'm just figuring it out as I go. So hit it with the flapper disc, clean her up and go again. All right, only one way to learn is to keep going. See what happens this time. All right, the second one is a lot better. That's for sure. It's definitely not going anywhere. All right, this is how we're looking. First one, pretty average, very average. Second one cleaned up nice. Third one, we're getting places. Wow. That's all the braces in. Started off pretty rough, but ended up coming through with the goods. Good enough anyway. Better off with more weld than not enough, I reckon. We on. Just ground the sides back. Gonna put the dash in, see how it looks, and I probably should weld a little bit more before I put the dash in, but we'll give it a go. Alright, I got this side in pretty smick, so I'm just gonna hold it here one hand, tack it with the other, see what happens. Alright, 2 little tacks while I tap this side up with a hammer, and we're good to go. It's all happening. Started off bad, but slowly got there in the end. Dash is in. Just gotta clean her up. A couple more tacks in here, and she's done. All right, that's the Dash after a little bit of grinding. It's all pretty smooth. I think I might get someone to hit it with a TIG after. It's pretty good. Little tack in up there. Little tack in there. That one ground back. All the braces are in. She's all happening. I wonder if I can stand on it. Oh yeah. Risky business. Alright. Another afternoon. There'll be no welding going on today. So I'm just going to take the time to cut these braces. Put all braces in here. Cut the floor one across for the bottom floor. Yeah, just cut all the braces so then tomorrow, if it's not raining, I can get in and just get stuck welding again. Alright. So it's basically they will go in there. I started from the brace first as that's our baseline. So made these the same, which are 330 apart. And then what I'm going to do is notch out the top thickness. So this sits flush with the top. So Alright, so that's how they look. They're going to take a bit of time, but hopefully they work. Hey, look at that. Pretty nice, I reckon. Sits nice and flush. Alright, got the first brace in. Gonna just tack it, drain out the water. I don't know if you meant to weld in the rain. It's not really raining now, but first brace in. All the top braces are level, which is good. Fluke that somehow. So weld this fella in, weld the other one in, and got basically something to work off then. Alright, I think I've given up on the welding. Upside down. I don't know, I just can't seem to get it. So just putting in the braces, got one in here, under there. And I think I'm just gonna hold them all in and then get someone to weld them, I think. Alright, this is the setup we got going on. Top brace to keep the height of the deck. Everything looks good except for the welding, but I'm giving it a go. It's definitely not good, but oh well. So we've gone from that to that. Much better. Alright, quick little afternoon, few braces in. That's how we're looking. Ended up just welding it. It's good there in the end, but it's definitely no show welding. So we have it, hour and a half this afternoon. We got probably four here, 8 more to go. And the cast deck bracing will be done. Just then I'll put up the supports from the braces to the brace of the cast deck. We'll gusset. And I don't think she'll be going anywhere. Alright, yesterday afternoon I got a fair bit done. Got all the bracing in. I ended up cracking the shits with the welder and having a bit of a break, and then turn the amps down and wire feed down a little, and actually managed to get a decent weld. So today, this afternoon, plan is to put these braces in on the floor and put these rest of these braces in. So the plan is I'm going to run 40mm box up to support this, because I'm going to cut this section out so you can walk through and have more clearance to access in here. So I'm going to put this one 40mm lower across this way, and then run 40mm that way, so then the weight is supported on the braces, and then come up and brace that. So that's the plan. Just cut a couple of braces now. these will basically fit in there. All right, so what I've done is I've got the C channel going over the braces. So this is 40 by 40. So I put that on top, and then got this to make sure these are level, to allow me that 40 mil, to allow me to run that 40 mil from here to over here, supported by these cross braces, so I can go up, and that will hold the weight of the cast deck and the dash. So tack them in, measure the cross braces, and then that will be it, I think. Right, so these get removed. Now these get installed. It should be a tight fit from here. Basically like that. It's not square, obviously. Same as over there. Now that should be the floor height throughout. Like that. Can get a weld in there, weld there, weld there, weld there, weld there, weld there. Same as this side. And then come up to support the dash. All right, so next thing I got to do, I think I just worked out, is I got to cut out this mark where I'm going to put this, the cutout, so then I can make sure the braces are in line with the inside of it before I do that down there. So I'm just going to draw this up. I think I'm going to put a Tech screw through the top on the line, so I can transfer that underneath and leave this all strong while I support it underneath. So that's the cutout for underneath the cast deck. So I'm just gonna put a little Tech screw through. And that will give me an indication of where I can bring that brace down to line up with the other supports. So the plan is now to tack these C channels in, and then I can line up with those, the outer supports. But just simple stuff that makes it so much easier to do. All right, C channel braces are welded in. So now line this up down like that. That gets put in there, and then these get welded in, and then this goes up vertically along with that. Easy as. All right, these are welded in. Slowly getting better. There's the weld. Turned up the amps. Got a bit hotter. Looking better. It's all happening in here. All right, this is the fun part now. So you got a vertical riser. It goes in like that, and then this cross piece that goes like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm obviously not going to be able to video it, but mark that there with pen. Give it like a mil or two above so it's real tight, and then cut it, wedge it in, weld it, and that should support the dash. Just put a little tack in there so I can line this up, mark that. Go cut that, and that should sit on top, and the weight distribution should be all down onto this, onto the brace. And there you have it. Easy as that. Just make sure it's all square. Which it is. Start tacking her in, then do the other side. It's the dash support done. Even got a bit confident and started welding into the dash, which is pretty risky for me anyway. But the welds are pretty good. A bit splattery, but the welds are good. Well, that's what the afternoon got me. pretty productive actually. I'm quite happy with it. Everything's in, nice welds, all supported, welded to that. So I can cut out the center now and it'll be supported. Very happy with it. Now tomorrow all I have to do is these 4 braces, 8 braces, 4 in each, and I should be ready to deck the top. Alright, next on the things to do, this is a bow cast deck. Obviously it's 1200 long, so the cast deck is roughly about 1800, so I need another 600 added on. So I'm going to cut little strips of this, weld half, so the other sheet can butt up and weld underneath. So I'll weld underneath, both sides, and then on top on the join. And that should hold the sheet pretty good. So the plan is to put little spaces in here. So I'm going to mark underneath where the supports are. So obviously I'll leave a gap for the sheet. And then weld underneath. And basically just come in 50mm from the end. And that's it. Alright, so here we have it. Have the 4 braces. I think that will work. So basically, they will go in there like that. That there, obviously, is the support from the cast deck. So they should get in there, meet them halfway. Obviously, it's going to tip over, so not quite halfway at the moment. But that's how they are going to go. I think that's the best way to go. And then I can weld along here, here, and the other sheet the same on the bottom, and then weld a big weld along the top and grind back flush. I think I should do it. So that's basically how it's going to be. I think something like that will work. Slowly getting better, that's for sure. 3 more to go. I think we're getting somewhere. A lot of splatter. I don't know what that splatter's from, but the weld's pretty nice. I think we're finally getting somewhere. Thought that one was a fluke, but then I come through the goods on this one. And then again on this one. And again on this one. Look at that. I think I'm slowly getting it. That's 350mm weld. That's another 350. Pretty good. The height's pretty good. The heat looked like it went through. Just a lot of splatter. So just clean the splatter off with the grinder. And that's it all ground back. There is a big warp in it, but I'm hoping it's alloy, so I should be able to flex it in the boat. A few clamps, and I should be able to weld it to where I need to. But pretty stoked with that. I don't think it's going anywhere. I can't believe how much it penetrated through. I had to actually grind weld back off the top, which is awesome. Pretty happy. All right, it's 5 o'clock, that time of the afternoon. Today's episode, going to cut this dash out now and then do these 8 braces and then go inside tonight, get all the cutting done before the neighbours get pissed off, and then go inside and weld tonight. So hopefully be able to obviously get the 8 braces in and the front cast deck welded in. Hopefully, that's the plan. There we go. That's the access to the cabin. The old 4.2 cabin boat. And then I'm just going to put some capping around the edges of that. And it should be all nice. So a little 4, as you see, 4 steps down here. So it gives you a bit more height to get in. It's pretty good. Well, it is what it is, so let's make dough. There are my welds. Nice. All right, that's the 4th row of supports just sitting in there. Using ratchet traps just to put tension on them themselves, so they're all the same measurement. So these should be nice and square with each other. And then I just sit the bar on top like the other ones and get them flush with the top of the deck and go from there. Get welding. Alright, all the bracing is done. All the sides are welded. All the tops are welded and ground back. That's how she's looking. Pretty happy with it. Now I'm just going to put the cast deck top on and to see if it fits, and that will do me for one afternoon, I think. How bloody good is it when a plan comes together? Everything is just worked. So they'll get pushed down, welded underneath. Pretty happy with that. It's gonna look so awesome. Whoa. Just got a template from there to here now. Whew, it's all coming together. Alright, we're back. It's that time of the afternoon. This afternoon I'm going to wedge all this up. I'm going to try to chock all that up with about a 5mm gap and fill it all with Sikaflex. And then I'm going to put tech screws through the top hat into the sheet to pull it down so I can weld it. And then I should have everything flat and in the shape of the deck. So this stuff is going to be your friend and a pack of them. Alright, so that's all sickered where I wanted it sickered. I've drilled little holes like that, so then when I put the tech screws through, it pulls down on the sheet. Now she's time for the template of the rest of the cast deck. So basically just lined up the other side with the side of the gunnel where it's going to go. So that's in line with the top there. And this is just got to come over a little bit like that. So mark that with pencil underneath or pen underneath, cut that out. I did it the same to the other side, and then there's your template. That's the template all done. All fits in nicely, all in line. Other side's all in. So transfer this to the sheet of alloy and cut her out. There it is, transferred on. Get the grinder out before it gets too dark and the neighbours complain. Always keep your cardboard, always handy as for templates. Alright, it's all cut out. Moment of truth, see if she fits. And just like that, she fits like a glove. Whew. Now to trace the underside to mark out where the window's going to go. I'm just having a look at the windscreen. Obviously this will get cut to the shape of the windscreen, so I'm just picturing how it's going to go. I think these have to come out. I think this window gets welded, screwed on top of the actual capping. So this grab rail is going to have to go. Same as that one. But it's basically how it's going to look, I think. That door should line up with the window. Looks pretty good. Alright, so that's the window shape marked. So what I've done is I've marked underneath. So obviously the window's going to come curve, 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 and then straighten up. Curve. So there'll be a little bit of a step here. So now just to transfer that and get it cut out. So what I've done is I've marked that with a tape measure from underneath and then crossed it over with the window curve. So just put a small hole, so you can see it's bang on the line. So now what I'll do is I'll cut this side from here to there, flip it over, and then cut along there to the other curve. Whew, this is like the final piece of the puzzle. The hard part, now to see if it fits in. And there you have it. Fits nice. Put a little capping over that later. Woo. that. Weld along there, all along there. I'll put the windscreen on and see how she looks. I am actually so stoked with how this has turned out. It's actually, I'm going to try, I'm getting real picky now, I'm going to try fabricate a little sheet down, close that up on each side. But it is a bit of screws to hold the sheet to the braces from underneath while I weld it. But it is sick. So that's how she's looking. Pretty flash. Oh, neat. Just got to create that face down. I'll get someone to fabricate that bit up all the way back down to here, make that tidy. And then there's the big old deck. I wonder what the deck size is. All right, the official cast deck length is 1920 basically, 1940, 19, whatever you want to make it, 1950. You've guessed it, it's another afternoon. Gonna just cut this today. So I'm just gonna clamp it on, sit the electric on, and then I can square it up to where I want it to be, and then simply mark it underneath and cut it to suit. And then all the cutting's basically done. All it is now is left to weld, which I cracked the shits the other day with this thing. But I'm going to give it another go today, and if I can't do it today, I'm just going to pay someone, I think. That's the easiest option. All right, so that's the electric on. I'm pretty fussy. I like everything square. So I like the same distance all the way along, not crooked. So let's take that little bit more time, and just got to make sure, I got to make sure that it clears the window here. So it's all sweet, shut up, and it's inside of the boat, just. So if you're traveling, you obviously don't want it outside the wheel arch or anything. But you want it off to the side that it gives you as much room as possible on the cast deck. So now, with these brackets from Jared's Tinny Mods, you literally just mark it with a pen. Like that. Oh, dog. Alright, here I was thinking, I haven't stuffed up yet, but I lied. First stuff up of the boat build is I cut too much off the gunnel. See that little gap there? I can't weld that now. So, it's not really a stuff up, but if I splash, water will get up and inside the hull. So I'm just made a little bracket up there. Just gonna tack this in place, and that should just put a weld along here, and that should basically replace the gunnel that I cut out. She's a quick little fix job, so this will get welded out here on the outside, and once that's on the outside, this will get put in place like that, and then it will seal up that gap there, and then no water can get inside the hull. That gets put there. Weld that. Weld the front, and we're good. Alright, the welder's playing the game today. It's not focusing. The welder's playing the game today. I don't know what happened the other day, but that should be fixed now. Just grind that back a little, tidy it up, and put the bracket on. Alright, I'm going to give it a go of tacking it in. Cleaned it all up. Going to hold it in place, give it a quick tack, and I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm going to give it a go. That's how it's looking. There's a few tiny little holes, but it's stuff all. But I'm probably going to TIG over it anyway once I TIG all this. I think I'm going to TIG this, or I might MIG it, don't know yet. But it's all coming up pretty good. Put the shape back into it. Pretty happy with it. That's how we're looking. Right, I thought now I've welded the electric bracket, I'll jump in under here after the other night. And look at this. I don't know what the go was, but the other night the welds just wouldn't work. But it seems to be working tonight, so I'm going to get as much done as I can. I've silicon on one side, and I'm going to weld the other just to stop any vibration. This is how it was the other night when I was losing my fucking shit. And tonight, it's like perfect. Well, all underneath welded, and it's definitely come through. I don't think it's going anywhere, that's for sure. Maybe a little bit too much heat. You wouldn't believe it. Another afternoon in this. So last time, it was 2 days ago, I welded all underneath the deck in. Tonight, what's the time? 6:30. So I'm going to try to work on it in the shed once it gets dark. A bit cooler. So I'm just going to put these screws back in on this second sheet. Pre-drill it so the sheet actually drills down rather than just getting tightened on the one sheet. So I'll drill the top on that little plate I put in the middle on each one, and then go underneath and screw up, and then start welding again. So what I mean is you drill this out, till you hit that. So I've hit that second sheet. So then when you do the tech screws, it actually pulls through. It's loose on the top sheet and pulls up on the bottom sheet. Now, you just simply it pulls it up. But if you don't pre-drill it, the screw will tighten up and like bottom out on the top sheet and not pull up the bottom. Alright, now the fun part, giving this a go. Alright, that's all that done. It penetrated pretty well. Looks a bit messy, but it's all pretty good. In the middle here, you can actually, when you're welding, you see the keyhole and it opens up to the bottom one. So you're welding 3 bits of metal together, which is good. Alright, bit of an update. I've welded underneath and I've obviously welded it hot. So all I'm doing just on top is just filling in where I've come through. It's definitely penetrated, that's for sure. So it shouldn't be going anywhere. Alright. That is all the top welded. Ground back. The sheeting welded to the frame and under here. All underneath. All underneath is done. Pretty happy with it. So that shouldn't be going anywhere. Alright, the time has come to do the cast deck. Gonna start the front, gonna hit it with the wire wheel, clean her up, and then get welding. Gonna be interesting. Well, we've started off strong. Now, like 4 more meters to weld. I would have to admit, we are off to a flying start. Just hit that with the wire wheel to get the blackness off of it. But at that rate, you wouldn't even bother grinding it. Well, that is one whole side done. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I'm just gonna leave it like it. No need for grinding at all. The only high patches are like where I've stopped and started there, there, there. But apart from that, very happy with it. Just got that side to do and should be done. What a huge afternoon. Pretty happy with the outcome. All of the top deck is welded. How is it? What I'm gonna do is get off all that black stuff with the wire wheel and clean up all the little debris that it spits out. Pretty good. That's 4.5 meters of welding for the Arvo. We're back. Another afternoon on the Betsy. It's 5 o'clock. This afternoon I'm gonna try to tidy this up, I think. I'll have to extend this due to the window. So I've made up just a little rectangle. I'm gonna tack that in there and then weld along there. Eventually I'm gonna hit that down so that sits flush and creates like a bit of a curve up, I think. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna give it a go. All right, so that's that little bit tacked on. So eventually this will be sitting flat like that and that shape will come all curved in. I'm gonna make a bit of a template for this cutout in here. Like this. Use everything out of cardboard. Like that. So then you just trace that onto the alloy and she should fit pretty good. So there's a little template I made. Just transfer that over to the bit of alloy, cut that out, and hopefully she should weld in quite nice. All right, so that's the bit we're looking at. It's gonna be a bit hard on my own. I think what I'm gonna do is tack it here and then bend it up, I think that's the easiest way. Don't really know. A little tack in place. It's gonna be a bit of a mission. I don't really know how I'm gonna do it. Need to really clamp from here to over here. I might have to weld a little lug on there. This is how it's looking. It's not too bad. Slowly making it happen. Just welding a bit, tapping it in, welding a bit, tapping it in. What I'm doing is put a tack in there and then weld the top. Alright, it actually came up pretty good. It was actually a little bit hard to fill up the top here, but I am going to put a capping over it to cover that. But it ended up pretty good. It was pretty hard in here. Kept blowing out just because it was thin and a bit of a gap, but welded all the sides here. We're ready for the window. Ended up getting a nice shape to it. Alright, I'm just going to have a quick play around with this window. Still got that side to do, that capping, but just trying to shape this up. I've got to take the bottom old seal off. I'm just going to use this like 6mm rubber to create that seal, a watertight seal, and see how we take shape. I don't know how it's going to go. The window broke down the bottom, taking it out. So I think I could possibly be up for a new window. But we'll have a play and see how it goes. You can always weld up the holes. Alright, so that side's nearly basically done. Just gonna put the window in, hopefully it goes back in. It looks like a bit out of shape, but this afternoon I'm gonna try fabricate this side up. So basically that's a template cut. So I've just got to extend this plate down to here and then weld that in and then cut this little template up. Alright, here is the little fabricated bit cut just to fill this gap in. So what I'll do is I'll tack it again, same as the other side, just tack it up the top, slowly bend it back, weld it, weld it, weld it, weld it, weld it until it's all sealed in. So just tack that there, put the clamp on, bend it to shape, weld there, obviously tap this down and adjust that to suit. Easy as that. There she is. She's come a long way so far. All the welding's done. The windscreen, I tried to fit it myself. screwed it along the edge and cracked it, both sides. So I'm going to all this effort. I'm like, there's no point putting a cracked windscreen on. So tomorrow, it's going to the boys to get a new windscreen. Once the windscreen's on, fuel tank, floor throughout, steering, motor, electric on, batteries, everything. And yeah, it should be on its way to the water. So in the morning, dropping it off to the boys, and then hopefully it'll look a hell of a lot different with a windscreen, and book it in. I think I had a stroke. Book it in for the flooring, and should be good to go. Alright, that's part 1 done. Thanks for watching. Part 2 will be basically from picking it up from the windscreen place and then fit out. So cutting the floor, how to cut it, carpeting the floor, putting the fuel tank in, rear cast deck possibly. Yeah, possibly painting the top deck too. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.